Hey guys, Uncommon Ramen here. Before I get into the video, let me remind you, if you like the content that I do, please hit that like and subscribe button. Also, if you want to be notified when my content drops, hit the bell icon so you can be notified when I post a new video. And as always, if you feel the need to support me, hit me up on my Patreon at patreon.com/uncommonramen, capital U, capital R. I do all of this in my free time, so any amount of support can help me bring more of this content to you more often. Alright, so we are going to take a look at another Kickstarter that came to me, and I know that this is like, oh my gosh, another wallet game. These guys are the ones that are most consistent with getting their projects out not only on time, but a lot of the time early. So we have this new game, Battlecrest. It's a wallet game from Buttonshy. And it can be played solo, only because it has a solo expansion included in here. Otherwise, it's a two-player game. And again, like I said, a lot of the Kickstarters that I have currently on file as being waited for are just taking a very, very long time. A lot of them are just now letting me know that they're going into mass production, which is well outside the schedule that they had planned to. And at least one of them, as of recently I found out, has just outright canceled. So, you know, be aware. You might just lose your money, so just be aware of how much you throw out there. But anyway, these guys have been super duper consistent with their wallet games and getting them out on time or early, and it's just been nice to see that. So that is why a lot of the time you're seeing these wallet games. Alright, so we're going to take a look inside here. Battlecrest is a two-player fighting game. If you don't know the theme that I'm going for here, think Exceed or Battle for the Endines, I think it's called. The BattleCon system or something like that. Just basically a fun little two-player interactive tabletop fighting game that takes on the style of those 2D fighting games on the video game systems and PCs and whatnot. So anyway, let's take a look inside here. We have ourselves the Fellwood base game as well as the expansion collection 1. The Fellwood base game is going to consist of 2 characters as well as the terrain that we'll be fighting on. So we're going to take a look here at this little rule book first. So that just shows a little bit about you know, the setup and what we should be looking at. And we have a couple of I want to say these are cheat sheets right here. Okay, yeah, one of these is for one character and one's for the other. Because I guess they both operate differently. So you'll have the different pictures showing which one they go to. Not to mention it shows the name down here. But it does show some extra things you need to know about them. And then I have this other rule book here. It says additional rules, so they couldn't fit it all onto one little pamphlet. There you go. So now we're going to take a look at the terrain. The terrain was double-sided cards. We'll look at the characters last here. So we have these little Double-sided cards is Temple Ruins is number 1, and if you look at the other side of it, Temple Ruins 1. So it doesn't look like there's anything different about it, and I just want to make sure I'm looking at this right. So we got a shield, a little targeting symbol, those little dudes, and oh, they are different. Okay, so both sides are different, and I'm sure that there's some game ability that's going to have you flip these. Then we have number 2, the Ancient Canyon, and again, it just depicts some place, and there is slightly different sides to both of these. So that's very interesting. The Shadow Marsh. Got the Solace Glade. You flip that guy over. We have the Forest Path. And then last we have the Dying Guardian. Show both sides to that. So I think this is really cool because even if they didn't need to expand it by adding new characters, they could totally expand it by adding new, I guess, arenas, if you will, to fight in. But on top of that, these characters are super simple, so it's easy for them to find a way to expand it with this, just with characters alone. So the first character we're going to take a look at here is Akhana, the Fate Bringer. The flip side of this is just going to tell you a little bit about her, or him, or her. I'm not really sure. Them. And show you some keywords here. The front side just has an ability. We have what is a life tracker. It looks like we start at 12 life with this character. And so we see right there our little life tracker. It's double-sided. Then we have these cards that I think represent either items or abilities that these characters have. Each of them is actually double-sided, but the art doesn't change. The art stays the same, but the ability changes. So we have this one here called Stellar Swing, and you know, it has all its iconography and everything. It's an action for Akhana. And then when you flip it over, oh, the art does change. I'm sorry. For some reason, I know which one it is. There is one card in here where the art won't change. So the flip side of this is Astral Strike, and again, it's just going to show different iconography, and it just represents a different attack. I don't know if these flip through the course of the game, or if it's something that you have to pick at the beginning of the game as like a preset ability suite of yours that you'd like to have. If it is something that you just pick at the beginning and it sticks for the rest of the game, that makes this game really interesting because it means that each game can be slightly different from the last one. And it gives you a chance to kind of play around with each different style of the cards that are in here. So the other one we have is the Eternal Seeker. And again, when we flip this guy over, it turns into an Aether Storm. And then we have the Ascendant Kick. And when we flip this over, we have the Celestial Wisdom. And then finally, we have the Ancient Will. And when we flip this guy over, we have the Voidcaster. So those are the actions and the heart and the main card for Akhana. The next one on our list is Mutiny. So these are going to be your base game hero or characters. Then we show Mutiny on one side, and then we have the information on the back side with a couple keywords here for probably iconography and whatnot. And you can see, just based off this heart right here, that the characters are slightly different because Akhana had a heart, or a full health of 12, whereas Mutiny's health caps at 10. So that is very interesting right there. And then we have Warning Shot. And then on the back of Warning Shot, we have Dead Reckoning. We have Siren's Curse. And Maelstrom. We have No Pray, No Pay. And Left to Fate. And then finally we have this type of card, and this is the one that I was talking about that doesn't change when you flip it, even though it has a different ability and name. This is the Rig. Now, Arcana doesn't have one of these, but all the remaining characters that you'll see have one of these. I think it represents an item that they carry, but I'm not 100% sure. So we have Rig on the pin down side. And then we have Rig on the hard reboot side. And so what I'm seeing here, I just noticed this here. This is the full heart. So I think once you hit the cracked heart, that's when you flip this guy over. Or I guess, not really sure how it works. But anyway, yeah. So this is the card where the art will not change. And there are 2 other characters where you're going to see that same thing. So that was the base game. So next we have the Battlecrest expansion collection. And this is going to consist of 2 new characters as well as the Imperator solo expansion. So we're just going to pull all this out here. Take a look at the rule book here. I don't know if this... Okay, so this is the rule book for the Imperator solo. And it's just going to give you a look at what the components consist of. Some setup and gameplay differences. There you go. Then we have Imperator abilities. And then here, it's just talking about the 2 new characters that we will go over as well. And as per usual, we have our little character cheat sheet type thing here. As well as a picture of the 2 new characters. So the first thing we're going to look at is the Imperator solo module, and it's just a bunch of cards that I believe are double-sided that kind of tell you what you're supposed to do with that character. And each of them are just slightly different. And this would be the final card. And like I said, they're each just slightly different. Nothing super special. All right, the first character we're going to look at is Forge. Then you get your little information about him, as well as his little keywords and iconography. So Forge also starts at 10 life. We've got Iron Fist. And Steam Thrower. Heavy-handed. As well as Shifting Gears. Archimedes Cannon. And Combustion Blast. And then his version of that sideways card, we got the Blast Shield. And the Blast Shield literally blowing up. So I guess this one did have different art. Maybe it was just the rig. So that is our good buddy Forge, followed by Whisper. This is the last character that we have right now. Like I said, this is a very expandable game, so I'm sure there's more in the future. Got some information about Whisper. Looks like Whisper starts with 10 health as well. Got Startling Roar. Followed by Fell Swipe. Spirit Fangs. Predator's Vision. Nimble Pounce. Stalking Strike. And then we have Aura in the Flare Burst, and Aura in Flickering Light. So yeah, Aura didn't change either, so... Okay, they're just really inconsistent about it. But anyway, that's Aura. And Aura. So those are the characters of Battlecrest, as well as the solo engine and the rules for the terrain and whatnot. That is everything that you have for this so far. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below, but let's keep them positive. I will be removing any negative comments. And until next time, guys, peace.